Hi everyone, my name is Shola and welcome to my channel. And I have to say it has been another successful year attending the Sambadrome at the Rio Carnival for 2024. Well, I hope you've clicked on this channel because you are also interested in visiting the Sambadrome parade in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And I have to say, it is an amazing experience, as you can see behind me. And if you go through my channel, you will see countless videos of what you can expect to see at the Sambadrome parade. Now, one thing I do want to make clear is that this video is a follow-up video to a video that I made last year in 2023. And in that video, which is probably about, say, 40 minutes long, the wealth of information that is in that video, which is, I think it's about 40 minutes long, all I can tell you is that it is priceless. I think when you watch it, I think you'll agree that I've gone out of my way to make sure that I fully give you a lot of information, especially if you're really thinking of attending. And if I'd seen that video before I ever stepped foot in Brazil, I would be very happy. And as you can see, I'm not here to sell anything. I'm just here to pass on my knowledge so that you can have a wonderful experience. And the other thing I want to highlight is that I'm very approachable. So if you've got any questions, no matter how small, big, or how irrelevant you may think it is about the carnival, honestly, just drop your comments below and I will respond to every comment, because I know what it's like. It takes a lot of planning. So it's a long way to go and you want to make sure that you get it right. And that's another reason for making this video, follow-up video, and my previous video, because I want to arm people with a lot of information so that they don't make a lot of the mistakes that I made. The other thing I want to touch on very quickly is that the Sambadrome itself, even around it, security is very, very high. You will see police carrying big guns, so you know it's not a place to be messing around, so you do feel safe from that point of view. And also the other thing I do want to highlight is that even to get in to the Sambadrome itself, you are going to be frisked and so forth, because you have to remember it's a place where you're going to get a lot of stars from maybe sports, entertainment, etc. You're going to get dignitaries, and you're also going to get obviously your superstars and politicians as well. So they're not going to just let anybody in. So again, just be prepared for the very tight security. If you're thinking of purchasing your Sambadrome tickets online, and depending which avenue you choose, so for myself, I use a site that was recommended to me years ago, which is carnivalbookers.com, and I've been using them for I think 4 or 5 years, and I've never had any issues with them whatsoever. And I want to make something very clear. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just like yourself, just a regular customer that has to pay full price for the tickets. Now, the point I wanted to make, so for example, on carnivalbookers.com, they'll have random flash sales. It could be in the summer, autumn, winter. They'll have flash sales, and definitely around Christmas time they always have sales. And those sales can range from anything from 15% to 20%, I think 25%, I think even up to 30%. So keep your eye out. Now you may think, well, what's the big deal? Well, when you're coming a long way and you're booking maybe 2 or 3 more days, believe me, it does add up. So any discount you can get is very worthwhile. When you touch down in Rio de Janeiro and you go to Hotel Atlantico to collect your tickets, they will come in an A4 envelope very similar to this. Whatever you do, do not lose it, because the last thing you want to do is travel all that way, lose your tickets, you have to purchase them again. So on the back here, got some useful information. So the metro, how to get to the Sambadrome. Me personally, I always walk from my hotel to the Sambadrome, and then when it finishes, I walk back again. And it's usually a 30-minute journey maximum each way. Got a contact number, and then obviously here ticket transfers, and obviously in different languages. So pretty cool. On the reverse, first thing to note is this pickup here. So obviously when you book the tickets, and even sometimes it's even after you've booked the tickets, they'll ask you to confirm a date and time that you'd like to collect the tickets. What I will say is that you don't need to panic if you don't make that particular date and time. It's not an issue. They're very relaxed. So depending when you arrive, you can wait even up until the day of the parade and then go and collect it then. So that's really good. Okay, so here you can see that I purchased tickets for 4 nights. And what I am going to say is, you may be watching this video and thinking, oh wow, that's fantastic, 4 nights, yes, we can do that. I would strongly urge you to think twice. Watch my other video, because it's a grueling schedule to attend one of these nights, never mind all of these nights that I've booked here. And all I'm trying to do is advise you, because what I don't want you to do is to waste a lot of money, because these tickets are not cheap. So the last thing you want to do is get there and you don't even get to enjoy it, because each of these nights, they go on throughout the night. And remember, you're doing activities during the day, and it can be a struggle. I've seen some people, they even struggle. They don't stay more than maybe 2 or 3 hours for just one night, and then they disappear. Anyway, I'll talk about it a bit more later. All right. So here, I've never seen this before. These symbols here. I'm not sure what that $sign means, but this one, again, I haven't seen that one before, but they kindly provide Metro cards, which they put in the envelope, which I think is really nice. I think they really, yeah, I've got to give the organizers credit. They really think about the consumer. I have to say, I'm really impressed. Then this one here, this is a t-shirt sign. And what it means is that you're entitled to a free carnival t-shirt. So do ask when you go and pick up the tickets. If you see this symbol, ask them, oh, whereabouts? And they'll tell you. It's usually in the hotel lobby at Hotel Atlantico. So in my case, I think because obviously I purchased 4 tickets, they told me that I was entitled to 4 t-shirts. But for me, it was just myself, so I only just took 2. So again, just keep that in mind. And then obviously this, I think, just means that, yeah, you've picked up your tickets. All right. So now, this is something that people don't really realize, and I think I said I'll mention it further down. See, if you see the schools here and you see the times, you can see they go on throughout the night. And you have to think carefully, as I mentioned earlier. If you start buying tickets for these 4 nights, some people, like I said, they'll struggle. They may see, for say this night, they may see 2 schools and then they're off. Because you think you're out sightseeing during the day, you're doing other things, then you come back in the evening and then you think, oh my goodness, we've still got the Sambadrome parade to go. And let me tell you from experience, sometimes they can start later, maybe the weather or any other thing. And usually they don't finish till about maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. So again, are you really going to be up for like maybe 20 hours in the day? I don't think so. I doubt it. So again, before you start rushing to think, oh, let's go and purchase 4 tickets like this. No, think carefully, please. Again, I do mention this in my other video, how I do it. And even for me, it's a grueling task to attend even after one night, I'm already shattered. And then I think, oh my God, I've got another 3 nights. Oh, it's grueling. So all I'm trying to do is just guide you from my own, so you don't obviously not make the same mistakes as I do, but basically don't waste your money. I don't want you to travel all that way, purchase the tickets, and then you find out that you're only going to see, say, 2 schools. So yeah. So again, so as you can see here, so these are the times, and they do go out throughout the night. You'd be stunned when you see the sun break in the morning. You think, wow, that's incredible. Okay, what I do want to mention here is you do have these first 2 nights. They are the access groups, so Grupo de Acceso, and they are not like the best of the best. But I can tell you, as you can see, I go religiously most years, and I still watch these two groups. One of the nice things about the access groups is that, like I said, they're really good, but if you're sitting somewhere maybe at the front or whatever, their floats are not too big, so that's an advantage there. And then obviously, they said these schools, they are not rubbish. They are really good, really good. Even I'm impressed. No one told me. I'd be like, wow, I'd be impressed. Then after those first 2 nights, then you have the heavy hitters. These are the creme de la creme. These schools here, they are the best samba schools. Grupo special group. They are the best samba schools in Brazil. Well, in Rio, they are the best, and you'll see them very often. Now, one thing I will say with these with the special group is that their floats are very big. They are huge. Again, you'll see this, talk more about this in my other video. The floats are incredible, and you really need to be up in the stands to appreciate, because if you're sitting, if you buy tickets and you're below, then you will miss what's taking place on top of the float. So yeah, so these two, yeah, if you can attend any of these nights, I think you'll have a good time. Naturally, the tickets for the first 2 nights, they're cheaper, and then obviously these ones are a bit more expensive. But like I said, if you plan ahead and you do it, then you're fine. Right. One thing I should mention as well is that obviously it's a competition. So the winners of the access groups will be promoted to the special group, and they will open the carnival the next year. And then whoever is last here is demoted down to the access group. Again, really impressive. You have to see it to believe it. Now, what happens is, once all of the competition has taken place, then the winners are announced. So there'll be different category winners and runners up. That will take place. So here, I think it's usually about a week later. So it was on the 17th of February. And that is it's called the Champions Parade. So that's really good, because you'll get obviously the winners, and then it's the winners from the access group, and then obviously winners and runners up from the special groups. So, and again, that runs out, that goes through the night as well. So again, if you cannot attend any of these nights, maybe the winners parade is a good one to attend. On this particular trip, I attended the Sambadrome parade on 4 consecutive nights. Sounds great, huh? The reality is so different. It's not something I would recommend to anyone. I know what it's like. You're sitting at home, you think, oh yeah, let's book 4 consecutive nights, 3 consecutive nights. My advice is to think carefully, because you will probably even struggle to attend one night. So think carefully before you make any booking. How I do it is so grueling. I do mention it in my other video, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It's only because I'm infatuated by the whole experience. That's why I go through a labor of love to attend 4 consecutive nights. And the other thing I'll mention very briefly is that a lot of the Sambadrome videos that you'll see on my channel here, you'll not believe it when I tell you that, yes, you may watch the footage, great, yeah, fantastic, but what it involved is myself probably standing on one spot for 9-10 hours. Yes, that is correct. I'm not making up stories. That's what it takes me to. So when you see the footage on my channel of the Sambadrome, it looks great. 10 hours on one spot. Cannot even leave where I'm standing. If I move from there, somebody else will take my place. I don't go to the gents or to the to the restroom, anything. Once it is grueling, very punishing. So think twice before you think about going on consecutive nights. I don't want you to travel all the way here to Rio de Janeiro and then you struggle to even make one night. So anyway, moving on. Whilst I was there in the Sambadrome itself, on one particular night, I bumped into a really nice French couple. They spoke English, I spoke English, we were able to converse. It was their first time in Brazil and more importantly, their first time attending the Sambadrome parade. And even, I think they underestimated what it takes to attend one night. They can definitely confirm what I'm what I'm saying. So whilst we're there, telling them about the Sambadrome, told them I've been coming for quite a few years now, passing on my knowledge, experiences onto them. And it's like anything, someone's provided me with information about somewhere, you know, you see the glint in my eyes. I'm like, oh wow, fantastic. So same with them. And again, I'm happy to pass on my knowledge, skills and so forth. And they made a comment which I'm going to share with you, and their comment was, you're really clever. And my riposte to them was, no. The only reason why I know a lot about this stuff about the Sambadrome and everything is because being quite a few years, and honestly, the amount of mistakes that I've made, the headache it's caused me, and I'm not going to lie to you, the wasted money. And it's a long way to come all the way here to Rio de Janeiro, and then things are not quite right because sometimes the heat, the humidity, sometimes the way the Brazilians do things will be different to your culture. And then when you don't speak the language, so when you culminate all that together, yeah, it's a great experience, but it's not like where you're back at home, you think, oh yeah, we can just do this, or no, things are a bit different here in Rio. So the idea of putting these videos together is if you can learn from this, if one person can learn from my experience, I'll be happy, because if I'd seen a video like this, it made my life a lot easier, whereas I've made a lot of mistakes, then I have to come back the next year, like, as I said, wasted a lot of money, and I want to avoid you going down the same pitfall. One thing I did complain about in my video last year was the design of the tickets, because compared to previous years, which were really nice, lovely tickets, last year they were pretty, I would say, substandard. They looked like something you could just print off on a photocopier machine and that was it. So that was a bit of a letdown. However, this year, I'm not saying that the organisers of the event listen to me. There's no way they're watching this tiny channel, but this year they really upped their game, because I was really impressed with the design of the tickets. Now these are the tickets that you'll collect from the Hotel Atlantico. Beautiful. Yeah, this year they were fantastic. Regardless of what night you attend the Sambadrome parade, do expect to be frisked, body searched, your bag searched, just to make sure you're not carrying any lethal weapons. And you'll also go through a makeshift body detector. Security is very tight. Now, this year I attended the first 4 consecutive nights, and on each night I was at the same gate. I saw the same security guard, but he still frisked me on every single night. There was no special dispensation that, oh well, I saw you yesterday where you can go in. No. You will be searched. I think the only and that's been the case over the years. Every time I've always been searched. Guess I don't know. Maybe you won't be searched if you're a super celebrity. You see. So again, really simple process. So anyway, prior to being body searched, you will see some people behind the people doing the body search. They'll be handing out little booklets. I would highly recommend that you take one of those booklets. Those booklets, by the way, they are free. And the other really useful thing about this is that it's in English. Yeah, it's in English. So when the parade for your school passes by, this tells you different sections what is actually taking place. So you may not speak any Portuguese, but by God, when you read this, it's in English, and you can see as they pass, you go, oh, okay, that one represents, just making out, oh, that particular part represents history. Another one represents time. Another one maybe represents sports or architecture or whatever. Now, if for whatever reason, when you're being frisked or body searched, you do not see those people handing out any leaflets or the little booklets, as I mentioned, don't panic, because there is a stand within the Sambadrome where people will be handing out those booklets for free. Again, I would highly recommend that you collect one, because it really helps you to follow what is going on as the event unfolded. I think the very first time I went, I didn't even actually look at the booklet. I don't know. I'm not sure if I declined it or whatever. But once I got into the Sambadrome, so much was taking place, very difficult to consume. But I think maybe the following year or so, when I had the booklet, I was able to follow. So really ideal if you can definitely pick up one of those little booklets. There will be a stand within the Sambadrome area where you can collect it for free. One thing I do want to mention, and that is when you go to the Sambadrome on the particular night that you've chosen, you only need your ticket. You don't need any identification at all. If it's your first time visiting the Sambadrome parade, one thing you're definitely going to realize is that it is a big arena. So navigating your way around it can be a bit tricky, but let me help you. So say for example, you have a ticket for sector 6 and you get to the arena and you're obviously outside and you see sectors 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. And I picked those numbers deliberately because the way it works at the Sambadrome is on one side you have even numbers and on the other side you have odd numbers. So right away, from the numbers that I picked, which are odd numbers, and you have sector 6 ticket, you're on the wrong side. So you need to make your way over to the other side. And again, vice versa. Let's say you have a ticket for sector 7 and you walking on one side and you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, etc. Then you know you're on the wrong side. So just to elaborate on my last point, once you have your ticket, you now know after watching this video that, yeah, if I've got an odd number ticket, I'm going to be on the odd side, even on the even side. Now, something as simple as that, you probably not thinking much about it, but I can tell you from my own experience, I think the first couple of years that I attended the Sambadrome parade here in Rio de Janeiro, I cannot tell you, I had an even number ticket, but I didn't realize. So I probably wasted an extra 45 minutes going up and down looking for this entrance. I just couldn't work out what it was. And I think I said it's only like say on my third trip or something that the penny dropped. So I don't want that to happen to you. Like I said, I spent 45 minutes, sometimes nearly to an hour. Where is this entrance? It's just mass of people. Like, you're in a country, as I mentioned before, you're in a country, you don't know how things work and everything. And then my Portuguese is not the best, and people tell you go that way, you're going that way, this, that. And I'm still going to be standing to watch the parade. I don't need to be spending an extra 45 minutes to an hour trying to work out the entrance. So that little bit of information, I cannot tell you how valuable it is. So for myself, I like to be in sector 6. I think it is the best vantage point. I do elaborate in my other video why that is the case. You can go to other sectors, but sector 6 is the best grandstand to be in for sure. It's the best sector to be in, no doubt about it. Take it from a seasoned pro like myself. So for me, ticket And usually the way I arrive, it's always on the odd side. There's a military police on the right hand side. They've got big guns and everything. That's like maybe one of their headquarters. There's no messing around near the Sambadrome. None whatsoever. So what I do is I'm on the odd side, then I sort of turn left and I walk around the Sambadrome to the top end. Top end? Yes, top end. And then as I walk around, you see like this alleyway, it looks suspicious, but don't panic. All you'll see is you walk through it and you'll just see local people selling, food, drink. Everybody wants to make money in this carnival. You'll see that the level of entrepreneurship is quite amazing, I have to say. Really is amazing, really impressed. So then on the right hand side, you'll start to see the entrances for the evening side. Then you just queue up and you're good to go. The other thing is, once you've been frisked and everything, you go inside. There's plenty of food, drink, alcohol. In terms of food, you have hot dogs, burgers, pizza. For me, I'd say more like sort of westernized or Americanized foods. I like to see. Me personally, I wish they served their own local food, but it is what it is. You also have souvenir shops as well. You can buy mementos there, so that's great. And I would highly recommend that you get there, and I hope you're sitting down when I'm about to tell you. You need to get there. I would highly recommend that you get there 2 hours before the event starts. That is correct. That's not a slip of the tongue. So if it starts at 10 o'clock, you need to be there at 8 o'clock. If it starts at 9 o'clock, you need to be there at 7 o'clock. And I can also tell you, if you go on one of these nights when it's the special groups, good heavens, it's even worse. Once I've turned up 2.5 hours before and I see the queues outside and I think, what time did these people get here? Then at other times I've turned up 3 hours before and the queues are still horrendous. Honestly, it just deflates my heart, but you just have to be really patient. This is what I'm saying. When you go to different countries, different things, so when you hear Rio, things aren't always the way you think they should run back at home. 3 hours before. And I just think, this is just, it's incredible, because everybody wants to see the special groups. They're the creme de la creme when it comes to the Samba school. So the queues are really, really long. For the access groups, it's not so bad. You can get there 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half before. Now, if for example, you're privileged and you have deep pockets and you want to sit right at the front row, and I've done this myself, I've got proof. I've bought the most expensive tickets at the front, and where you're literally touching the parade as it goes by. It's a lot of money, but I tell you, it's incredible. It's an incredible experience. Now, if you're lucky enough to purchase one of those tickets right at the front, you have the special ticket for that. You can arrive 5 minutes before it starts, because you'll be in like little boxes. Each box will sit about maybe 8 people or so. Honestly, it's a privilege to have those tickets, but it comes at a price. But worth it. The footage that you'll get, it's incredible. It really is. So for those ones at the front, you can arrive 5 minutes before. You can arrive anytime, go and come back. Brilliant, excellent. It really is. Just before wrapping up this video, I do want to make some important points, and I hope you found the points that I made in this video and in my other video really useful. And I want to be very clear, it's not to scare you, it is the reverse. I want you to have a fantastic, memorable and smooth trip. And obviously, I don't want you to make some of the mistakes that I made. Hence why I put these videos together. I don't stand to gain anything financially from any of it. I'm not selling anything whatsoever. If I'd seen a video and my other video before I arrived here in Brazil, a few years ago, It would have saved me a lot of time, effort and money. So the first point I want to make is never, ever, ever buy tickets from ticket touts. I cannot stress that enough. You'll be amazed. You may arrive there, you're panicking, you think, oh, I want to get tickets. Somebody approaches you, and with the heat and the humidity, you start getting into a discussion, and then you purchase tickets, and then you find out they're fraudulent. No, the arena is big enough. I think it can accommodate, I think maybe 70, 80 or 90,000 people. So you can get tickets right up until the day of the carnival from the official website. So again, there's no need to buy from ticket touts. Give you one quick anecdote before I move on. There's one morning, interestingly enough, the carnival had just finished. I think it was like 6:30 in the morning, because I stay from start to finish. Yeah, I do it. And walked back to my hotel. I think it was about 7 or just after 7 a.m. Luckily, breakfast was being served. So the usual routine, have breakfast and then retire to bed. So as I'm tucking into my breakfast, gentleman just out of the blue approached me, and he asked me if I wanted tickets for the Sambadrome. And I told him no. I said I politely declined. I just said, now obrigado. And then that was it. So just to prove, you can be approached from anywhere, anytime, but just avoid ticket touts, please. I'm begging you. I don't get how cheap they're offering it. Just go through the correct channels. The other thing I want you to think about is, as I hope finally publish this video, which should be about June 2024. Yes, you can start thinking about the carnivals. Yeah, okay. But I want you to start thinking about making bookings for hotels and flights around September, I'd say October the latest. So for example, flights, they can be very expensive, and the later you leave it, I don't need to tell you, the more expensive it becomes. And also what will happen as well is, the later you leave it, sometimes you will get the worst flights. By that, what I mean is, you will either get ones that are, and it's happened to me where, for example, British Airways were charging $1,400 round about there for a round trip ticket. I declined that, and worst of all, that one was just with hand luggage. I said no, thank you. Then obviously the other option, which I do quite religiously, is I have one stop. But the point I'm making is, the longer you leave it, you'll get the worst flights. So you'll either get the most expensive flights, and that may even put you off the trip totally. Or the other option is, you'll just be left with 2 stopovers. Believe me, if you can avoid to do that, I did it one year because I think I was trying to save money. I thought I'd be fine. It's not a good experience. Again, start thinking about securing your flights September, October at the latest. The other thing you should think about is the hotels. Naturally, when the carnival's on here in Rio de Janeiro, it's what, maybe February, March, thereabout. It's their summertime, so the flights are going to be expensive. Don't think, oh, if you wait till Christmas, you'll get it at a discount or anything like that. No, it'll be expensive. Now, in terms of the hotels, before COVID, it was different. So for example, prior to COVID, you could book your hotel, and this is what I used to do. I used to book the hotel, secure it, excellent. Then if I saw another one, maybe slightly cheaper, then I would book that one and then cancel the other one. Because what used to happen before COVID was, you had up until the day before to cancel it, which was excellent. But I think what happened is, once COVID kicked in, they lost a lot of money, the hotels. So they started to get crafty. Post-COVID, and read it very carefully in the small print. I'm not sure which site you go on or wherever to book it. They'll tell you that if you make that booking, it is non-refundable. Sometimes they might give you a wiggle room, like maybe just move it a day or two or here or whatever, but then be careful, because what will happen is they'll tell you that, oh, by the way, it's already full up, but someone else has booked it. And then, so basically you're going to be out of pocket, but the hotels will not. So again, just be mindful that when you make the booking for the hotels, it is non-refundable. The other thing, again, I'm sure I've mentioned in this top of this video, and that is your safety. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of police presence around. Brazil, Rio de Janeiro doesn't strike me as the place where you're going to be messing around, because there's a lot of police, present around the Sambadrome, even around the streets, because they know it's carnival time. So it's not that. So you should feel secure. I've been going for years. I've never encountered any issues. Obviously, be sensible. Doesn't mean that you flash your jewelry around or anything. Keep it. In fact, I don't wear any jewelry, just my watch, and that's it. And even I used to be terrified that someone would steal my watch, but no, it's just fine. And just be aware of your surroundings. But in terms of your safety, that's something you're worried about. I don't believe you need to do. And I know you're probably thinking, well, it's okay. I'm preaching to you that I'm a guy. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a guy, but I don't become reckless when I'm out there. I'm in a different country. I take precaution. All the precautions I'm giving you, I do exactly the same. So yes, so really, really important. So you should be secure. I don't envisage any issues in terms of the safety aspect, if that's what you're worried about. Prior to publishing this video, I go through a number of checks. So the first thing I did was make sure that I covered all the points that I missed in my previous video, and also any updates between 2023 and now 2024. Secondly, I make sure that the information that I provide is accurate. That is really important to me. And thirdly, I do the editing, and I cannot tell you, it is so monotonous, laborious, and time consuming. It has taken me weeks to put this video together, but I hope I have done a good job. I'll be the first to tell you, it could always be better. So once I've done all of that, very happy. I've come to the end and I think, right, okay, let's publish it and let's see how it is received. And because my channel is so tiny, I don't really expect any views whatsoever. But I don't know what it was, but I just thought, let me go on the carnivalbookers.com website and just see if they started releasing the tickets for the Rio Carnival for 2025. Went on there, and out of the blue, I just noticed something that was very strange, very peculiar. And in fact, I'm actually glad that I caught it before I published the video. And that was, if you recall, earlier in the video, I mentioned that when it comes to the Sambadrome parade days, so the first 2 days are taken up by the access groups, and the second 2 days are taken up by the special groups. And obviously for the special groups, which obviously are the best of the best, so you usually have 6 Samba schools per night. So 6 on one night, 6 the following night. And that's been the tradition for as long as I know it. But when I went on the carnivalbookers.com website, I was surprised. Now, it appears that the special groups, instead of over 2 nights, is going to be spread over 3 nights. And what they've done is they have 4 Samba schools per night. So 4, 8, 12 in total. And this is really bizarre, because everything that I told you earlier looks like it's been thrown out of the window, but it is factual and it is correct. So it looks like there's a change to the routine for 2025. Now, obviously, spoken to some Brazilian people, asking them why this is the case. I'm hearing lots of different things. One is about logistics. The other one is that a survey's been carried out and the Samba schools find out when they conduct 6 schools per night, this is for the special groups, that it is very tiring and cumbersome. So that's why they decided to split it up over 3 nights. Now, this is a new format I've never seen before. But like I said, I'm really glad that I caught it before I even published this video. So I thought I'll add this bit at the end. So again, you see, information is right up to date. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is that, well, for a couple of reasons, is that to me, you could argue that, well, by splitting it over 3 nights, if, for example, you're someone who you may only go once in your lifetime, as I mentioned earlier, it's a grueling schedule to go each, over 2 nights. Now, if you only go once in your life, you feel compelled to go for these 3 nights. And to me, that's more money that you have to spend, because these tickets are not cheap. So again, I'm not happy that it is spread over 3 nights. But anyway, I thought I'd share that bit of information with you, which is right up to date. And then again, you can make an informed decision as to which nights you're going to be attending. Oh, one thing I will say is that if you look at the actual the timings of it, so it's going to be starting at 10, and then the last school will be starting about 2 I think it's 2 o'clock, 2:30, something like that. So I reckon it still probably won't finish till about maybe 5 a.m. And then if there's any delays, you're still probably not going to finish till about 6:30 in the morning anyway. But it still doesn't detract that you still need to be there 2 hours, at least 2 hours before it starts. So again, it's still going to be a grueling schedule no matter what. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. My name is Sholo. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another episode. Ciao. I did have one small issue, and that issue was at Hotel Atlantico, where you will collect your Sambadrome parade tickets. And honestly, when you pick them up, you get your hands on that A4 envelope, you feel like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, where you've like won a golden ticket. They are prized tickets, because probably people don't realize, but not every Brazilian can afford to go, which is quite scary, because I would have thought that they would be the majority of people. No, they cannot afford to go. So the majority have to watch it on television, or that's why they take part. So again, it's a sad state of affairs, but it is the truth. So, as I mentioned, as usual in previous years, I go collect the tickets at the Hotel Atlantico. But this year, I don't know, I stumbled a slightly different experience. So you line up, you go in, collect the tickets. But this particular guy that was serving me, before relinquishing the tickets, yes, you provide I think I provided I think it was the passport and then the credit card that I paid with. But it was most bizarre, because he's looking at just before he's about to issue me the tickets, he's looking at the tickets, he's looking at me. He's looking at the tickets, he's looking at me. Now, I paid for 4 days. And I can see it just in his demeanor. He's looking and thinking, you can't afford these 4 tickets. So he then asked me if, and this is something that never happens, and you don't see it with other people. He then proceeds to ask me if he can take a photo with my passport beside my face like this. And I said to him, and I asked him, like, why? Couldn't really give me a reason why. But I'm pretty clued on as to what he's thinking. He's clearly looking at me and he's thinking, no, you can't afford those tickets. So, and I asked him, I said, well, why do I need to do that? I said, you don't do it for everybody else. He went quiet. So I didn't like that. That left a really bad taste in my mouth. I may complain because why should I be singled out for special treatment? Pay for the tickets. I've been many times. Even when I was there, I never saw people having to have their their passport by their face like this to take a picture. Hell no. So I was really disgusted with that treatment that I received at Hotel Atlantica. Like I said, probably going to put in a complaint because I just, yeah, if you do it for everybody else, so I said to the guy, if you do it for everybody else, then you do it for me. But he didn't. So I had to take a picture of myself as though I'm a criminal. So that didn't sit well with me at all. As you can tell, I'm deeply disappointed by the way I was treated by this gentleman at Hotel Atlantica. Basically made to feel like a criminal. But as you can see, I'm not here shouting, screaming, using offensive language or whatever. I'm very mild, very calm, composed, but getting my points across eloquently. Now, this in no way clouds my judgment about Brazilians in general, because the majority I've met, fantastic people. And this goes back to my other point that I do make regularly, which is when you go to a different country, things, you're trying to understand why, what, and wherefore. And I think what surprised me by this treatment is because I thought Brazil was very progressive. When I say that, what I mean is they're quite understanding. And this is another thing why I really love attending the Sambadrome parade, because yeah, it's great to see the beautiful women, fantastic, but take it from me as an educated man, I really like the fact that they discuss the topics of the day. They bring it to the carnival, and it's played out in front of you. So whether it's gender, racism, LGBTQ rights, I remember the whole with the George Floyd, that whole movement there. It was played out. It was powerful. It really was. It's amazing. And I can tell you, in 2019, there was one school, Samba school, Mangueira. They did their act. It was so contentious and political to the point that I believe the government of the day did not want Mangueira to perform that particular routines of theirs. Very powerful, really powerful. And I remember, obviously my Brazilian Portuguese is poor, but what I could see, and when I read about it, what it was about, very powerful. And the message basically was, look, no country is perfect, but what Brazil were trying to do was eradicate black history from their books. Yeah, I never forget that feeling, even as I'm expressing it to you now. I remember that night very well in 2019, March 2019. Very powerful and moving piece by Mangueira. And would you believe it or not, they actually won that year. They won it. Very powerful message. Like I said, the government wanted to shut they didn't want Mangueira to perform that act at all. Very powerful. I remember it to this very day, and I'm glad that I was there to witness it. So again, looks like more work needs to be done to educate people and to change their ways. But I may have gone off piece, but I definitely wanted to make that point. So here's why you should never judge a book by its cover, because I am in a respectable job where millions of dollars pass through my hands. And I've been doing that job for probably over 10 years. Secondly, I have a bachelor's honours degree in business and marketing. And if that's not enough, just a few years ago, I also obtained my MBA, which is a Master's in Business Administration. So you can see I'm not some fraudster. And again, I think I know how to deal with people eloquently. So again, that experience I experienced at the Hotel Atlantico left a really bad taste in my mouth. And like I said, I, I'm pretty convinced I will be putting in a complaint for sure, because for me, I just felt like I was singled out. Now, if that procedure was for everyone, I'd have no issues with it. But that chap decided that, oh, looked at me and he thought, and I'm pretty sure you guys and girls watching this video will make up your own mind what is going on here. Like I said, I just found that a really distasteful experience. I've been going for years, never had to do that. If it doesn't happen to everybody, why should I have to put my passport up here, like a convicted criminal? No. So that was the, like I said, the only bad experience that I encountered. But overall, yeah, the whole parade at the Sambadrome was fantastic.